got short hour for the,
Yeah. Finally.
You make it up.
We'll go ahead and get started with the city meeting. Monday, 24th of July. This time we always start out with prayer requests. Anybody got any prayer requests?
I'm in Georgia. My daughter's son-in-law, he's had to go, they sent him to St. Louis, have the same surgery that I had. John Lazowski.
Anybody else got any prayer requests? Always remember us. Remember men and women to serve this country, past, present, and future. Toward the uniform. Remember those. Remember our law enforcement, emergency management people, first responders. Remember all those. Remember the homeless. Some choose that life, some do not. Regardless, they're still homeless. Remember them. Anybody else?
Remember all the churches in the community.
Yeah, all the churches in the community. Remember them. Anybody else got any prayer requests? All right. If not, if you got a hat on, you don't care to take it off. Clint will have prayer for us.
Lord, we come to you and thank you, Lord, again for this day. We thank you for your many blessings. We pray, Lord, you be with us tonight. Help us to do what's the proper thing to do for our citizens of our community. We pray, Lord, that you just lead, guide, and direct in everything you've done. We give you the praise. Amen.
Amen. Everybody look over the minutes, sir. Any questions on the board about the minutes? Any additions or deletions? All right, there a motion to accept the previous minutes.
I make one.
There's a second.
No second.
All in favor saying aye? Aye. Motion carries. Just get them loose up on. John back in here. I don't know if you want to walk through. We'll see there. John, you got anything? Jerry, you got anything?
No. Didn't get any calls.
Different here tonight to get through some things, so we'll go down to old business. Any old business we need to attend to? Sure, got some street signs up, so it's like a few more of those.
Yeah, those up, and I need to John probably knows the names of the streets down at the state line.
Randy Hill. Talking about Randy Hill.
Yeah.
Crystal Lane, that's another main street.
Crystal Lane, yeah.
Crystal Lane,
That's right here. Crystal Lane right here.
yeah, we'll need a sign for it too, Randy Hill.
Yeah, okay.
What about the stop sign at the end of Mellick Road? It was laying on my lawn.
Yeah, I've been told about it, and I'll get it done. I just hadn't been able to do nothing this
I
week.
know. I understand.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Also, mobile business taxes, we're trying to collect some taxes. We'll be turning those over to Ms. Mashburn up at the courthouse. She'll be here this week to get those. If you haven't paid them, try to, but we're going to turn them over to her. It's delinquent taxes. Turn them over to her. She'll be collecting them to the courthouse. So, you know, if something happens, it'll be them that have to pay, and then they give the city the money. So they'll be collecting bank taxes. Be turned over to her office. Master. What office is that on? Master. Clerk and Master's office. Where that come from? Clerk and Master's office. All right. Any more old business? New business. Several things on the new business. There'll be some road paving will be going on over here on some roads, so they'll be doing that, fixing some holes on some roads. Also, on new business, where's Corey at? Want to come to sir? Over here. Okay.
I got a question real quick.
Well, wait a minute. I'm gonna get the citizens and everything. I'm gonna get through all this and we'll get there. But Corey, come up here and Corey, if you don't mind. Corey Comstock is the fire chief over in South Pittsburgh. When the situation happened to us this last Monday, while the interview was going on and everything, I got a hold of Corey. He come over here and we got him in as fire chief to stand by till we can get to the meeting tonight. So we have a fire chief. I'm going to put it before the board tonight for Corey to serve as our fire chief. Jerry will serve as our assistant fire chief tonight. And put that in front of the board to vote on. So if it pleases the board, Corey Comstock will be our new fire chief for a temporary time, whatever that is, to get things straightened out. So I hear a motion to accept Corey as our fire chief. Billy made the motion. Here, second. All in favor saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Now Jerry will get him appointed assistant fire chief. Do I hear a motion to accept Jerry as assistant fire chief?
No, make motion.
Billy made the motion. Here, second. Second made by Quentin. All in favor saying aye. Aye. We have the fire chief and assistant fire chief. Jerry. That takes care of the business of the city. Now, we're going to go into to open it up for citizens. Of course, we know we've had some drama, Lord knows that. But everybody's going to stay calm. You got a question, we'll try to answer it the best way we can. We're going to get out of hand or Rudy. We ain't going to be here all night answering questions. But if you got one, we'll do our best to answer it. So, who you asked first, sir?
Yes, sir. You was mentioning about you're going to start doing some road work, patching roads.
Yes, sir.
Is that going to include the roads like Crystal Lane and them? Because on Crystal Lane, we got two real bad holes right by the stop sign.
They're
Terrible.
Yes, that's what we're trying to do there. That, Rivers Landing, there's some other places that won't, but the Crystal Lane.
Yes,
up the
you
front.
can't miss it right there. There's one right there. No matter what you put in, they keep you washed down. I mean, I know you got to dodge it, but you pull in sometimes and somebody comes around the corner real quick, guess what? You're going to hit each other from dodging a stinking hole on the road.
Okay. What you got there?
I'll look at that when I go back out tonight.
Anybody else?
Are we going to move on to the fire thing now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. How did we get dispatched to that location?
What location are you referring to? You're going to have to give me a little more.
The truck incident that caused all of this drama. How are we dispatched? And do we have like mutual aid that's really assigned?
Okay. Back in the 80s, the fire departments in Marion County realized that we couldn't take care of some of the fires that we have in our cities. So the mayors and the fire chiefs all got together and formed the Squatchy Valley Mutual Aid Association. So if South Pittsburgh has a 3-story building on fire, they don't have no firemen to put it out. So they have a dispatcher called New Hope, Kimball, Jasper, Helltown. we're all under a mutual aid association agreement, and we have
And
to
that's
respond.
active. That is active.
That is active, it's been active since back in the 80s.
And the dispatch is responsible for doing that.
The fire chief in that city has to call the dispatcher and tell her to mutual aid New Hope, mutual aid Jasper, whoever.
Okay. That area, I've made a lot of calls since I read the newspaper article in the Chattanooga. Is there an area at the base of Mont Eagle Mountain that's the closest to, I understand Battle Creek has a fire department that has 2 people in it. One is medically not able to respond, and one is a fire person. So, does the dispatcher geographically call the people that are closest to that? And is there truly an area from the bottom of Mont Eagle coming down the interstate that they call no man's land, that nobody's really responsible for it?
Right,
Okay.
yeah, the interstate,
Okay.
yeah.
So how did we wind up there?
You mean with our truck?
Yes.
Okay, that was a mistake on the fireman's part. They were not supposed to go on the interstate, and somebody at dispatch or somebody called dispatch, and they dispatched New Hope out to go.
So the dispatcher did dispatch us out
They
to
did
go.
dispatch them out, and that has been taken care of. They know not to ever do that again, because we are not going to take our equipment out on the interstate for a truck fire or a car fire unless somebody is trapped and there's not another department that can go.
Okay, and if we wound up there, did we stay and see it to conclusion? We were there, and as I understood it, we were the only ones there. Did we stay until those people were taken care of where the fire was?
Now that I don't know. I didn't,
Do you know
I didn't
if we
get
did
into it.
or-
We wasn't the only one there, they was a department there before we was.
Oh, so we were the mutual aid backup?
But it wasn't a mutual aid call. It was not a mutual aid call.
So we just went on our own? Do we have radios that allow
Well-
us to do that?
You got cell phones, for one calls another one, said, hey, call us out and we'll go. It's that time.
Okay, so the dispatch didn't really call us, we just took it upon ourselves to call each other.
Let me explain something to you. 3 times we have already told them, do not go on the interstate. 3 times. We've had a meeting with the fire chief 3 times. Do not go on the interstate. So they done it. Kept on doing it. Do not go on the interstate. We want you over here in New Hope. If we have a fire across the road and our truck's at the bottom of Mont Eagle, your house is going to burn down before they get from Mont Eagle. We want to serve New Hope.
I understand
We
that.
do not want to go on the interstate because we're going to get somebody killed, run over on that interstate. Do not go on the interstate. They was told that.
Okay, but how does that fall in the mutual aid backup plan? I mean, we know that there's accidents on the interstate
Anybody
that
have to
it
go on the
lost
interstate?
fire.
Corey, you want to elaborate on that?
You don't have to go on the interstate, and when the fire chief calls and says I'm available and nobody else is responding to a call, and he says he's available, they will dispatch.
Yeah.
So there was a car that burned there in the past week, I believe.
I don't know.
But, so somebody did show up for that, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't
I don't
know?
know the incident you're speaking of. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big black
Ms.
place.
Rayford, let me ask you something. If anyone's house in here, if your house catches on fire, and we're up there putting out a break fire on a truck that's hauling toilet paper, and your house burns down, possibly with your husband in it, would you be upset at us? Because all of our trucks are up there fighting a break fire?
Of course, but I understand this mutual aid, how important
Well, there's
that.
4 other fire departments that border that interstate.
Right.
Helltown,
I know.
Jasper, Kimball,
I
and
understand
Battle Creek.
that.
And then New Hope, we're way off the beaten path. South Pittsburgh's even
Right.
closer than we are, but they're off the beaten path.
Right.
But none of them won't go on the interstate neither, unless someone's entrapped in there. The thing is,
Kimball borders the interstate, and they refuse to go on vehicle fires. If there's an accident with entrapment, they will definitely go, and if they go on a call and request South Pittsburgh, we will go to support them, mutual aid support.
Right.
But that's the only way that I would go from South Pittsburgh.
Well, everything you're saying makes perfect sense, and I understand about my house, but I don't understand if you've got entrapment and everybody discusses this before they decide who's going to show up, that person's probably going to be dead.
We don't discuss it. If there's entrapment, we go automatically.
So does the dispatcher do that?
Yeah,
Depends on the
they'll
section.
dispatch it out in traffic.
Yes.
Okay, so the dispatcher ultimately makes the decision.
They make a decision on who to call. They will dispatch for fire or entrapment for an accident.
The officer on the scene, 9 times out of 10, don't call the officer on the scene and see what you got.
Exactly, yes. And the department that is paged out makes the decision on whether to go or not.
Would they go to the closest one first?
Yes, they do use the closest one. On
That
the
would make
interstate-
perfect sense.
On the interstate, there is a dividing line, and I don't know the exact sectioning. Battle Creek has a section, Kimball has a section, Jasper and Haletown. And there has been some discussion and some working to who will, I think there is a department that might be covering all of it, but I can't speak of it for sure.
Okay, I have another question. Once I got into making these calls and questioning about training, there is a fire academy training thing I understand across the mountain. Are our people up to date and certified as fire people?
I don't know about here in New Hope. You're speaking of, there's a couple different trainings that take place. There's a 16-hour that's a awareness class. There's a 64-hour that gets certified for the state for volunteer work. And then there is the fire academy that is for a full-time firefighter, or firefighter 1.
I read something about a level 1.
Yes, level 1. And we typically, it's a long-term class. I don't know the hours on that, but it's longer term and more commitment. And that's more for full-time fire departments. We do have a few in the county that have gone to Bell Buckle for the training academy. But that's usually not a typical thing we do. We go through the 64-hour class to get us certified through the state.
And if someone does the training, like here in our department, does that certify us and make us, do we test for that level 1?
You can test for level 1 firefighter.
Okay.
I got a question. How much danger are we in since we have the problem with the fire department out here?
You're the same you was, 'cause all the firefighters lived on South Pittsburgh Mountain, Jasper. None of them,
I didn't know, just asking.
none of them lived here in New Hope, and that was the thing we talked about before. It'd be nice to have people here that live in New Hope can respond. Somebody lives 2 doors down and be here quicker than somebody lives in Jasper. Because one day I coming through Jasper and a truck was in front of me, had lights and blasting. I asked Mark, and they was coming over here to a dumpster fire. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what about we have our chemical plant over here? Do we know what type of chemicals they use?
We got a list.
Oh, we got a man that works here plumbing chemicals. He can maybe enlighten us.
The man that works there, do
We got a list.
you have a safety group of people in your company that can put out minor stuff, spills and things like that, or you have to call hazmat?
Yeah, we do have people in staff that can do it.
So like TVA has a fire thing on site, you have something like that?
We have like 79 fire extinguishers in our facility. We have sprinkler system, dry system, we have home and deluge systems.
And people that have been trained to deal with
Yes,
those?
those systems are all automatic.
Okay.
They'll set themselves up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have that rail going through here.
Yeah.
We're probably the only one, we don't know what's on that.
For tours and training, y'all have maps here of the facility on your fire trucks now that shows everything about the facility. And we bring the fire departments in. Corey's coming in, be the 3rd Tuesday when the coaching schedule. And previous firefighters, we had them in, I think it was about a month and a half ago, we had all them in and had a tour facility, handed out maps, so we're actively involved with
Okay, that's comforting to know.
Well, they had a call, what was it, yesterday? Saturday. Had a call Saturday, and there were 2 firemen here at the fire hall at the time that they had the call. But it didn't amount to anything, they didn't actually have a fire. But occasionally, their alarm goes off, but it doesn't mean anything. But you gotta go check it anyway.
Oh, of course. Yes, I would expect no less.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done, thank you.
Anybody else?
How many firemen do we have?
At this time, Jason?
Who are they?
If I'm thinking about 12, 13 at this time, 2 of them sitting there. We got a meeting this week. Jerry, John, and Corey. We'll meet with them. Lynn, Billy, Jerry, Lynn has called us wanting to get on the fire department. I think it's about 6 or 8 at this time. We had 5 or 6 that was inactive, that's active again. So we're looking at a roster of about 14 to 15 men.
Okay.
How do we get to this situation?
Yeah, what happened? People not listening. People doing stuff they shouldn't have done. We've had talk. It's more involved in what y'all know. I mean,
Well, what about the insurance?
we got insurance.
Yeah.
We had insurance last time. We showed her there last time in the news and stuff. They was here last time. We got insurance. The guy that fireman that was complaining said that he's been on the fire department for 9 months, didn't know Mark's name. They asked him Mark's name. He didn't know who the mayor was. Said that nobody showed him insurance, but he'd never been to a meeting. If you don't ask, you can't get it.
Who's the insurance through?
The insurance is right here.
Public entities.
Yes.
Public entities.
What's that?
Tennessee Municipal League.
No, it's changed. It's the.
It's just, it's a name change, public entity partner.
Same outfit.
Partner. Used to be called TML, Tennessee Municipal League. They changed.
If they wanted to know if we had insurance, all they had to do was come to a meeting. None of them said they ever been to a meeting, so evidently they wasn't interested in seeing that we had insurance.
Let me say this. I'm going to say this myself. I'm not going to beat nobody up throwing bus like they trash mouth me. I'm not going to do it. But there's a lot of unseen things that people don't know about that's happened. And that's where I'm going to lead it. We have a fire department, and we got good men that's fixing to join the fire department that live in the city of New Hope. We've always had one, going to continue to have one. We're not perfect. It's mistakes people make. I make them, they make them. It is what it is. I will apologize to everybody in this room and the citizens here for this getting like it got an embarrassment in the city. I hate it. We're all elected officials, never took a dime from this place. I wish I had the money back that I've spent and killed. But it's okay. And I can get trash mouth and beat up all you want, that's fine. It is what it is there. But the city's going to continue to run. We've got a good fire department in place, going to keep it in place, and we're moving forward. It's that simple.
But on one more thing to say, on their interview, they said that they got demoted for going to the fire. No one on this board demoted no one. The guy that demoted them was the fire chief. The fire chief demoted them.
Yeah.
It wasn't us. Nobody on us did demote no one. So the fire chief demoted them. He didn't tell them that evidently he told them that we told him to demote him, but he's the one that demoted them. Because he was told 3 separate times to stay off the interstate. So the last time I say he probably got fed up because they went up to the interstate and he demoted them. But it wasn't nobody on this board demoted them. Jimmy Haley himself demoted them. The fire chief did.
Any other questions? That's where we're at. That's the way it is.
What about the water situation?
What about it?
What about people, I mean, I know of a couple of people that's got some larger than normal bills. They've checked for leaks, they've got no leaks. You know, there's some scuttlebutt about water being used over here and that it doesn't jive with the water logs for the fires. And that didn't come from Jimmy.
That's fine.
That came from an independent source.
I don't know what to tell you about that. Nobody's charged for any water usage in the city. Zero. Picking up right here, Jimmy Beaver's worked on the water and gas company. I talked to Jimmy Campbell today. You've got a meter, and it don't start charging to the back side of that meter. There's no way. No way.
You don't get charged for water over here for what we use.
No.
No.
You do not.
That's a lie.
So if I went to the water company and asked them about it, and they said that, you'd say they're lying to us. right?
I talked to Jimmy Campbell today, and this man worked on the water and gas company, Jimmy, and I asked Jimmy that exact question. Is anybody charged for water usage besides what's used around? No. Go talk to Jimmy Campbell. He's second in charge over there.
If it don't go through your meter, it's not costing you a dime.
If your water bill is high, you
You got a leak or something else going on.
Mine hasn't been high. It's been some
I'm
other
just kidding.
people's, because I'd be over there, you better believe I'd be over
Yeah.
there if it was high.
and it ain't called the fire department.
No, because you can't go through your meter.
What about this reported incident about a citizen calling there being a hose attached to a hydrant and the water company coming and getting the hose off the hydrant and keeping it? And it wasn't from the fire department?
Yeah, it's over at the Port Authority, hooked up to there. Jerry had used that.
Yeah, I used that one because this one over here, never could get it fixed, and I couldn't even turn it on. So I started going out here for it.
That's what we order parts for. They order parts for forever out here. We've been trying to get it fixed.
Yeah.
To water cattle and put water in swimming pools? Is that what it was used for?
You have to ask Jerry about that. My cattle.
I'm asking.
My cattle's been watered, and I paid the bill.
You did pay the bill. Excellent.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what I wanted to
That's
know.
right here. Well, anybody
Well, you
else
do. Do you get a slip when you get the water delivered? And
You tell them how much water you got. And I think I got 3 loads, Jerry.
and you pay it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Excellent.
Sure that.
Everybody else paid it too?
Now, that's not mine.
You took it to the water company and paid it,
I
right?
pay the water company. Everybody else, if you get water, that's between you and the water company, not the city and the water company.
Well, I mean, if the fire department delivers it for the cattle.
I'll tell the person that I deliver it to, if it's me.
And it's up to the person to go
I'll tell them how many loads of water I take to them. And normally they tell me, hey, Jerry, I need a couple loads of water. So I'll take them 2 loads of water. And now, that's where my job stops at. When I unload that water.
The insurance covers going to do that. I mean, just to clarify. I'm
You
just
want
clarifying.
us to let people's cows die because we can't take them water?
I'm not saying that.
Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
asking about the
Do
insurance
you
on
want
the
us to let
trucks.
people's cows die because we can't take them water?
I'm not against watering the cows. What I am against is doing it and putting the city at risk for some financial something or other if it's not covered under the insurance. That's what I worry about. I don't want the city to get sued.
Well, I know 2 or 3.
Talking about the fire department?
Yeah.
I'm quite confident of covering it under insurance, based on what I've seen.
How many fire plugs up the road are operational?
All of them.
All of them.
One. We got one that lady hit. There was a wreck on 420 Long Island.
At the
And
log cabin church. She run over and knocked the plumb out of the ground. That one order.
and they've got one order to replace that.
I'm just curious.
Anybody else will adjourn? Here's 2 of the men right here. Matter of fact, it's going to be on the fire department. It's joining the fire department. Lieutenant Randy Hill, they'll be joining the fire department. Like I said,
Names?
Keenan Pace. Travis Miles.
But like I said, we got about 12 so far. I have a little bit more than that.
And like I said, they'll get with Jerry, Corey, and John. Applications to be filled out, name, address, phone number, and what equipment they get. We're missing some equipment, we'll go figure, but we'll get everybody fixed up as quick as we can.
And if anybody in here wants to volunteer.
Yeah. Some of the equipment wasn't turned in. I watched it, nobody carried in turnout gear.
Well, you approved 2 new turnout gear sets like a couple of meetings ago, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And we also,
We just got the quotes.
Yeah, that's
and something else they brung up, they said we wouldn't buy no fire hoses or nothing. They brung it last meeting right here that Mark asked to Jimmy to get us a quote, and Jimmy still hadn't got us a quote last meeting. It says right here, he still hadn't given us a quote yet.
And didn't Marion County get some type of grant that the fire department's
Now
going to
that's for the
benefit from?
county fire departments, non-city, not incorporated cities. They take care of the non-city, incorporated cities, anything outside the corporation of the city, like Helltown, Little Squatchy, Highway 150.
Is
so forth.
Battle Creek Incorporated?
No, ma'am, no.
So those 2 people would fall under that county.
But we got CARES money, didn't we? We got CARES money.
Here's when this was done, and I just received this last week, February the 20th, and May the 26th, and I just got them last Wednesday. How do I get a hold order stuff or know about stuff? Because when it's ordered 3 or 4 months ago, and I just now got the quotes on it.
Yeah, that stuff is not cheap.
Well, no,
One set of turnout gear is $3,200.
Yes.
Full set.
yeah.
And that's not even with the SCBA factor, whatever.
Did Colonial Chemical offer to buy some or participate in buying some turnout gear at one point?
Sure, can you hear or can't?
I've never discussed turnout.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Make a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second? All in favor, say aye. Meeting adjourned. Take this with you.
I want to see the insurance paper. Do you?
I'm sure they probably have the same business. Show me last month. I don't want to take care of it. They're pretty much.